So focusing, sorry, because we could probably go on and on and on, but I know you got places to be. So
Okay.
we're going to get down to brass tacks. Two things. Number one, I want us to do you get to ask one and I get to ask one. You can ask yours whenever you want. I'm asking mine now, my crazy question that is
Okay.
completely inappropriate and we have to bury in our Patreon so we don't get into trouble. Um, I have noticed for myself recently that when the T word was president, I allowed my prejudices to get the best of me. Like they came out a lot. And I'm like, wow. And I'm not blaming him. I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. And I
Mhm.
allowed myself to walk down that path. Don't want to do it again. But I've noticed this like the last week. I am human. I have prejudices for sure. Right.
Yeah.
And they are stupid. Some of them are stupid prejudices,
Like
but
what? Like what is a prejudice of yours that's stupid?
I'm doing to them what I claim they're doing to us as women, right? Like making a snap decision and a quick judgment. And I kind of feel that all prejudices are like that. Like, right? You can look at somebody and go, but I admit I watch too much crime television. I'm trying to eliminate it from my life. It puts me in a bad mood. And I'm watching Still a Mystery. And oh my God, it's just a show about crimes that have not actually been solved yet. Like you know who did it, but the person's not in jail
Okay.
because the police are inept. Oh my God, I'm developing this crazy police prejudice at this moment, which is crazy because I am like justice centric a lot of times. And I'm like, what do you mean she's not missing? She just got tired of talking to people. I'm like, people with children and a family structure, and even if they're drug addicts, let's just say, right? Whereas a lot of these people were not, but they made plans, they have a job, they're like, I'll pick me up at 8 o'clock so I can go to work, and then they disappear, and the police are like, oh yeah, she just walked away. I'm like, are you fucking stupid? So I'm noticing that my prejudices are growing. Have you found that your
Okay.
prejudices are growing?
Oh,
A lot of it for me, I think, is
no.
old age.
Actually, I feel like mine I become more aware of them. And I mean, I have prejudices, clearly. I mean, I'm human,
Yeah.
but I do think in the last, I don't know, 5 years or so, I've really tried to catch them when they arise and put myself in check. And I will tell you why that is. So there's someone in my life who I love deeply beyond words. And this person can definitely be very prejudiced, and it drives me insane,
Hmm.
where I'm constantly have to call this person out and being like, this isn't true. This isn't true, like whatever it is. And I think because I'm constantly having to do that, it's made me more aware of my own, if that makes sense. Like this person is in your same boat similarly, but it's more white people. I hear this comment all the time, white people. And I'm like, not all white people are bad.
Mm-mm.
Like they're just not. There are, I think, actually more of them are very good people and progressive. Do they get caught up in like weird stuff or don't pay attention to like what's happening? Sure. But I don't think inherently they are racist or ignorant or um intentionally trying to make bad decisions. I mean, I even try, and I'll tell you where my prejudice comes. The one prejudice I have, which I could be very, very wrong in, but when I do hear someone voted for the T word, I immediately do not like them. And I immediately think that they are racist and selfish, and it's not fair. I mean, one of my closest friends voted for him in 16, did not in 20, but did in 16, but had voted for Obama the two elections previously.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think she's any of those things.
Right.
But do I think she is in a bubble in a lot of ways because her life, she only sees through her own lens and doesn't have a lot of empathy? Yes. Is she surrounded by people who are big T supporters? Yes. And those it has to infiltrate her.
Right.
Like she'd even told me her parents are big Fox News watchers. They think Joe Biden is the devil, Nancy Pelosi's evil. And they went to visit her and started putting all this trash into her kids who were teenagers. And she's like, stop, like, do not, I don't care. I don't want them to be infiltrated by your crazy conspiracy theories. And I want them to make their own decisions. I want them to read like actual news. But it's still hard if I hear that somebody is a supporter or voted for him, that I'm not immediately turned off and think that they're a bad person.
Yeah. I battle, and I do mean battle that on a daily basis as well, because I am fully aware of all of my prejudices, like instantly. And I get better I'm really good at noticing it and then, squelching it. I'm just getting tired of it still popping up. Right.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, I think that there are some, and I don't know if you want to call it a prejudice, but I do think as human beings and just trying to protect our well-being, there are certain situations or people that you may encounter that you have to be a little bit more cautious. Like,
Sure.
to me, it's not about, say, somebody's skin color, right?
No.
If I see a group of people, whether men, women, all gangstered out, listening to me, like hanging out on a street corner, I'm probably going to keep my head down. I'm not going to make eye contact. I'm not going to like engage. That is not like, to me, I already see danger.
Mm-hmm.
They could be
Agreed.
talking, they could be talking about the stock market or talking about like global domination. I mean, it's an unfair assumption. They could be talking about their kids or families, but for me personally, in my experience with those encounters, like, I've just steered clear. Or if there's two guys with baggy pants, I don't care if they're Mexican, Chinese, black, white. If I see a certain style, I'm a little bit more on high alert.
Right.
I'm going to probably cross the street. I'm probably not going to engage. Where, yeah, I see two men in suits, I'm probably going to walk right past them and not think anything of it, because, honestly, either one could be dangerous, but I feel
Yeah.
like the odds of them hurting me are substantially less, in the sense of they would probably steal my 401k,
Yeah.
which is probably worse than a lot of these
And, and they wouldn't offer you a sandwich if you were hungry. Sorry, I had to bring up the sandwich. But you're right. I mean, unfortunately, but I get tired of my own response to things a lot of
In what
times.
way?
Like, I'm surprised when I say things like, oh my God, cops are incompetent. Like, that sentence coming out of my mouth kind of surprises me, because not all cops are incompetent.
No.
And it's just, and a lot of it is, I don't like to judge. I'm trying not to judge a lot. I get tired of being judged. So I try and note not to judge other people, especially when you don't need to. Like, I'm not sitting on the jury, right? So it is and not currently not my responsibility to judge. So, and it's just to me, it's sort of exhausting. I'm like, oh, grow up.
But I also think that you maybe instead of fighting it, just embracing it and just recognizing that you are human, you're not superhuman, you're gonna have it and
And then move on.
move on. Like everybody has them. Have the thought and then have it disappear. Like
Right. I
instead
think
of
that's one of my concerns, though, just as a side note, is like
yeah.
I'm not always evolved, but I'm evolved enough in this area to know, yes, I can see that judgment, and then I notice it's a judgment, and then I try and put it away. But then I say, gosh, how many other people are doing that very thing?
Mm,
And then again, it's not my concern necessarily, right? It's like as long as those people aren't acting on it. And again, I guess people can think whatever they want, but it's their actions that I guess matter. But a lot of times when you're brewing in it, right, when you're sitting in that stew, then actions just kind of like burst out at the wrong time in the wrong way.
yeah.
And this is all because I watch too many fucking crime shows, which I have to stop doing. I'm making a commitment to myself to stop doing that. Anyways, so that wasn't a very racy question, but it's just been something on my mind. Like, man, oh shevets, I hate being so narrow-minded.
But you're not. You're
Well,
I mean,
you know what I
I
mean.
feel like someone narrow-minded doesn't even recognize
Maybe
or
that's
give
it.
it any thought. They just go along in their own bubble and not think about other people or their own biases or prejudices or their impact.
Yeah, which I do think about.